Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we're going to head out on the highway and see how far you can go here in the real world with the 2023 BMW iX. This is the top M60i model, meaning it's got the whopping 111.5 kilowatt hour battery and an incredible amount of horsepower and torque, over 800 pound-feet of torque. This thing is incredibly powerful, incredibly fast, and incredibly luxurious. So if you do want to see more on the iX, check the links in the description. We've got a review of the Bowers & Wilkins audio system. We've got a DM test drive, an infotainment review, all sorts of good videos. Check those out below. Quick shout out to Grizzly, charging up all of our electric vehicles. I'm going to close this up and get this thing going. A few things to know about our efficiency route. We're going to go out and do about 30 miles out and 30 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour. We've got our tire pressure set at their door placard, 39 psi front, 46 psi rear. We're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. Now, yes, that will use up some extra range, but that's how people travel in the real world, and without it, we would roast in here. We are unplugged. We're going to reset our car's trip computers. We've got our GPS reset. Go here to, where are we, over this way, values. Put a good amount of miles on this. There we are, reset, on button, climate control's going on auto, and we are ready to go. Oh, the other thing is we are going to drive in efficient mode. There's also sport and personal. Outside temperature today is 88 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is toasty out there. Can't close the sunroof fully, but you can make it translucent if you press this button. And you can kind of see through it. Press that button. It provides a little bit of dimming, but we're definitely still getting some degree of sun radiation through there, heating up the cabin somewhat, and obviously just from the windows as well. We got 2 miles of driving to the highway. I'll pick up the test from there. 2 miles in, and the vehicle's estimating we have 279 miles of usable range left. It'll be interesting to see what that is once we get back. Plenty of power to get up to highway speeds, but we're going to go a little easy on it. This van doesn't seem too inclined to get going. It's so easy to drive faster than you realize you're going in this car because it's so quiet and so powerful that you look down and you're doing speeds much higher than you expected. It does look like the car's speedometer is about 2 miles per hour high compared to our GPS. So we are going to set the cruise control at 74 miles per hour. We do have a pretty decent active lane keeping, sort of semi-autonomous driving in here in the iX, so that should be nice. Initial highway impressions, like I said, very quiet in here, very refined. Looking forward to doing some mileage. So we're going to continue on with the rest of the test and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway range test here in the BMW iX M60, and ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you, I am so impressed. We are in kind of a large, compact, maybe arguably a small mid-size crossover here, and we're getting well over 300 miles of range with 82 degree temperatures, climate control set at 73, cruising along 70 miles per hour. That's really, really quite good. We've done 78 miles so far, and only used up 25% of our battery. So whether you cut it on the average miles per kilowatt hour, or on the distance traveled and battery percentage left, or on the remaining charge range left, according to the vehicle, every way you look at it, you're getting over 300 miles of range at 70 miles per hour here in the iX, even in M60 form. And that's just really impressive. I'm not expecting too many surprises once we get back to the house, but either way, we'll plug it in, charge it up, and see how many kilowatt hours we take and do a few final calculations. But my goodness, that's satisfying. It really is. Beating EPA even at highway speeds in an EV. Very good job, BMW. I did have a few small highway complaints. Overall, it was a very, very nice drive. In fact, I went a little bit further than planned. I'm going to end up doing 80 miles round trip because I was enjoying myself. I was listening to the excellent Bowers & Wilkins audio system. I was shooting video. I wasn't in a hurry to get out. But two things that were a bit bothersome. One, you have to put more pressure in very specific places than you should have to in order to get the semi-autonomous driving mode to recognize that you're actively steering. I'll cut to a little clip that I recorded while we're going so you can understand what I mean. Chris noticed this as well, he said, and if you're just driving along like this, 2 fingers on the wheel, just a little bit of pressure. Let's see if it's satisfied with this. Nope, see, it's not. See, it's yelling at me. You can very clearly see I've got 2 fingers pretty solidly on the wheel. Look at that. You have to, it's not a force thing, see? Look at that. It's really mad. You have to have your hand and squeeze the wheel. It's one of 2 things. You either have to have it in just the right spot, and oh, that car's not having a great time up there. You have to either have your hand just in the right spot, like up here, maybe with your palm touching, or you have to really squeeze it. So that's a little bit frustrating, and I actually haven't witnessed that from a BMW before. Usually the BMW systems are very sensitive, very nice to use, but that is an annoyance. Another annoyance of mine is there's this phenomenon with electric vehicles where manufacturers love to skimp out and slim down on all the controls. The way BMW did that with this car is there's no way to adjust the following distance right here on the steering wheel for the adaptive cruise control, and it blows my mind why they thought that was a good idea. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons over here, and only, well, technically 7, 8 if you count the rocker, and 9, 10 up and down the rocker. There's only 2, 3 rather, over here. Why couldn't they have add following distance adjustments there? Instead, you have to leave your CarPlay. Actually, you just press that button right there, bring up driver assistance, click that, then go up to distance control, click that, and then set your preferred distance. That is frustrating to me because there are definitely times when I want to change my following distance very quickly. So, pretty strange. Don't know why they made that call, but overall this thing's really nice to drive on the highway. Just 2 small nitpicks there. But besides that, I definitely appreciate driving the car on the highway, and let's get on back and see what we get. Here we are in the morning, all charged up. At this point, the vehicle says 329 miles of estimated range. That is pretty darn good. So when we got back to the house, we had 75% charge left, and that was after 81.1 miles. Now, if we go to our Charge Lab app that connects to the Grizzly, I can see my charging history and see that we took 29.1 kilowatt hours, and we estimate there's about a 10% loss in electricity going from a level 2 charger into the car. So 29.1 times 0.9 is giving us 26.19. 81.1 divided by 26.19 kilowatt hours gives us 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. That is really good for this vehicle, and that is just a little bit over what the car's readout was. The car was giving us 3 miles per kilowatt hour. So right around there, I think that is a pretty safe number, which again, for a luxury SUV like this, is pretty impressive. And if we do our 111.5 kilowatt hour battery pack times 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour, that's giving you 340 miles of range. Even a little conservative, 111.5 times 3 miles per kilowatt hour, you're still pulling out 330 miles of range, just about what the car is estimating. It's so cool how with electric vehicles you don't have to pay that price penalty of putting in a premium fuel when it comes to EVs. You simply give it the same electrons you'd give any other Nissan Leaf out on the road, and away you go, and you get over 800 pound-feet of torque, an incredible amount of range, and a very pleasant driving experience. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the iX M60, check the links in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.